Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with head coach Scott Langer. And coach, a huge weekend. You know, generally we kind of break down the games Friday and Saturday, but this weekend, two games that, well, not only the score was the same, but the outcome the same. And two games that really kind of felt very similar, and you come up with two huge road wins in the first round of the playoffs. And everything I've read, everything I've seen, they talk about a perfectly executed game plan. So hats off to the coaching staff and, of course, to the players. What do you take away from a weekend like that?
Well, you know, I know our guys were prepared. That was the big thing. And, you know, we went in there with a game plan, and our guys probably played the best hockey of the season in those two games. Just the way we battled defensively, and we just didn't give up a whole lot. And I thought Minot was very good, actually. They were coming at us pretty quick, and our guys were handling them pretty well. And, you know, obviously the first game, you know, getting off to a start with that goal by Kevin Fitzgerald really put things in our favor right away, and our guys were pretty energetic the whole way from that point on.
Yeah. You know, and one thing I wanted to make sure and mention, too, that there was, and then on Saturday night, of course, you have Adam Pitter scoring and Nolan Sullivan scoring, some, you know, later additions to the team. But really, guys, from the fourth line to the first line, everybody was contributing and playing hard and responding well to a pretty physical Minot team, you know, and it was just an across-the-board effort, I thought. Depth, all that kind of stuff plays into this, but certainly from a coaching standpoint, you got to be pretty proud of the way that that even, you know, some of the guys that maybe don't see as many minutes played overall.
Well, for sure. I mean, that's the reason why we came back with two wins, because everybody was contributing from our net out. You know, you look at obviously that second game when you know, Pitters answered right back. That's a huge goal by a young player that hasn't been here very long. And, you know, 16 seconds to go in the period, and you got Nolan Sullivan scoring the highlight goal and, you know, giving us confidence going into the dressing room. So, you know, you're seeing, you know, you've even seen that line with, you know, Pitters, Bagwell, Mackey in the first game before he, you know, took a lower body injury. They're really contributing. They're physical. They're battling, you know, and it was great this weekend. Even though I was on the road, I didn't get a matchup. I could throw all four of our lines out there, and I knew that they were going to be responsible.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, the environment, hostile environment, you kind of knew that going into it, you know, with playoff atmosphere and everything. But the guys seem to handle that pretty well, too. And the pressure, because, you know, we talked last week about the inexperienced group that you take up there against a veteran-laden team. But they seem to handle all of that pretty well, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially with a young group, you can have a lot of built-up anxiety. And, you know, with anxiety, it takes a lot of energy. Yep. But our guys handled that really well. You know, and I think it was because a lot of our preparation going into it. You know, we've talked about, we've also played some playoff series during the season, you know, here, you know, with kind of how the schedule went. And I think that helped our guys a little bit. And, you know, we just talked about it. It just gives us an opportunity. You know, we won the first one. It gave us an opportunity for the second night. And winning on the second night just gives us an opportunity coming home to the Odde. And, you know, still a lot of hockey to be played. And, you know, we're going to have our best effort on Friday.
Without a doubt. You know, and that actually leads to my next question is, you know, I started, I guess, a little bit about the game plan and about the well-executed game plan. Do you come back Friday night with anything different? Do you expect to see anything different from Minot, or without tipping your hat or your hand, I guess? But how do you prepare for them to come here?
Well, you know, I mean, Marty's a really good coach. Mm-hmm. He's going to have his guys going, and they're probably going to tweak a few things, and, you know, we're going to tweak a few things, and, you know, until the puck drops and we kind of feel one another out, we're not going to know really what adjustments to make. So, you know, we're going to go about our business this week and do the things that, you know, we think are necessary to win hockey games. And, you know, our guys have been really good down the stretch of being able to adapt to what the other team is throwing at us. And, you know, early on that was a struggle. Right now our guys pick up on things really quick, and that's allowed us to make adjustments during the play, you know, right there during the period or period breaks. So that's been kind of one of the big things for our group.
Yeah. And you mentioned it too, you know, just that some of those really tight games in the regular season, it seemed like they were, you know, definitely helped in the preparation process. You know, another just a kind of a side note, I expected the bus ride home to be absolutely crazy, but I was really impressed that, you know, about 10 minutes, the guys are having a good time and stuff, and I heard a voice from the back of the bus. I think it was Gage Mackey, who said, "All right, boys, back to work. We got another one Friday, and I just love the focus of these young men and their dedication and hard work that they're putting out there. Just a kind of a side note, because they're enjoying it while they can.
Yeah, our leadership's been, I mean, definitely a reflection of how we're playing. You kind of get to be there with the guys and you see it, but guys like Gage Mackey, and Kelly and the whole group, even the Ravers who don't wear a letter. Those guys are, it's short memory. They understand what it's going to take in the playoffs, and I think they're having fun at it, and they don't want to go home too early. Yeah. So they've been doing a great job, and we're just going to go about our business like I talked about, and prepare for Minot on the weekend, and hopefully things bounce our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know the town is buzzing, absolutely buzzing. Everybody I see, everybody I run into, that's the first thing they're talking to me about, and people that maybe only take in a couple of games a year or something. I think the town's definitely proud of you guys and what you've been able to accomplish so far. Of course, there is still work to do, as you mentioned. Well, Coach, I was asked a couple of questions of you to get you to know Scott Langer a little bit. There are some people who were at the banquet, for example, and got a chance to see you talk, but there are a lot of fans that over the weekend kind of emailed me and said, "But what, we don't know anything about this coach. What does Scott Langer do when you're trying to relax?"
I don't think I relax. I guess I wear myself out, and then I sleep, and then I go back at it. This season's it's had ups and downs, and it's been a lot of work. And when I came here to Aberdeen, the one thing I told myself is I'm going to see this thing every day, and I'm going to go until I can't go anymore, because I just love the town. I love the passion that people have here, and then obviously the Odde family deserves a winner. But I'd like to spend time with my wife and my dog, and really just take it easy when I'm not doing the hockey thing.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, the well-executed game plan, definitely a product of that effort and that determination and drive that you have. Another question I was asked is, what motivates you? What keeps you pushing forward? And you kind of already answered that with but is there anything in particular that you could put your finger on that drives you?
Well, the first thing is obviously the development of these players, watching them from where they start to where they finish. That's the end all be all, really is, and then obviously becomes winning. I've been accused of trying to win at everything I do, but I enjoy the winning part of it, and I enjoy the locker room and watching these young men happy after winning and having success. I love watching the ownership come in happy, more than one day a week. It's awesome. It's just what motivates me the most is just watching these young men grow up and take pride in something the way that they have this season.
Yep. Well, excellent. Final question. Who's your favorite NHL team?
New York Rangers.
New York guy. Wouldn't expect anything less. All right. Well, Coach, this Friday and Saturday night, this Friday night, maybe Saturday night, but I don't think we're going to need it. It's going to be a madhouse here at the Odde. I've got a feeling the phones are ringing off the hook to people trying to find out where to get tickets and so on, and that message is being sent out around town now too, that they are available. A general admission available at the front door the day of the game. Doors will open at 5:30. We'll go over this again here in a bit. Reserved seats. Those of you that have those have received an email. The first game will be free. You'll be able to get your tickets from Aaron, and we'll again go over those details in just a bit. But Coach, I really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us a little bit about the weekend that was, and just the excitement involved in it all, and then a little peek into the life of Scott Langer as well. So I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Well, actually, Friday and Saturday. Friday. I keep doing that. Friday. It's been a long season. All right. Well, we're going to return with a couple of players coming up in the second segment of Wings Weekly. But once again, Coach, thanks for joining us here in this first part of Wings Weekly.
Thanks for having me.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla. Warm it, kiss it, don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here in the second portion of Wings Weekly, and we have Tim Makowski of Baldwin, Missouri, and Joey Strada of Scottsdale, Arizona. Boys, appreciate you taking some time to join us here. Kind of worked out nicely because you don't have school, so we get a chance to talk to some of you guys that aren't usually available.
Yeah.
Let's start with the weekend. I just was talking with Coach Langer a little bit about the mentality and the game plan and everything going up to Minot in their building, the number 1 seed, and you guys sweep them. Surely they're going to come back down here fighting with everything they've got, but how great does that feel to go up there thinking, you know what, if we can even get 1 from them, we're going to be in good shape, and to get 2 on the road like that against a team that has led the division all season long. That's got to be pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be hard coming in, especially because Minot hates us, man. They despise us, and we needed those wins, and we just came out and fought, and we got them.
Yep, absolutely. Tim, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend. I mean, you could tell our preparation really showed that weekend, and I think it'll be great to hopefully finish them off this weekend with the
awesome.
Odde.
It's going to be a wild madhouse in this building. I'm sure of it. The atmosphere up there, obviously, I think they were absolutely stunned. So I feel like again they're going to come down. It's going to be a battle for sure. Joey, you particularly, I felt like that was a physical game, pair of games up there, but it seemed like they almost had it out for you. Like anytime you touched the puck, they were on you. But you pop up and with a grin on your face and get after them, and then end up with the last laugh, by scoring that the third goal there on Saturday night. So that had to feel pretty good too, huh?
Yeah, they were coming after me big time. But I mean, coaches told me I just had to battle through it, and actually, Coach Langer, he told me to play like Matt Zuccarello on the New York Rangers, just be gritty, get in their face, and just get in their head, and that's what I was focusing on.
Yeah, well, it was effective because I always get a kick out of up there because I'm in the crowd, where a lot of places I'm not necessarily, but you can hear what everybody's saying and stuff too, and you just got to shake your head. But I talked with Carson earlier this year, about how he loves an atmosphere like that, where it's kind of adrenaline rush to be getting yelled at and to know that you're in a hostile environment. Does it do that for you guys too?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of energizes you. I mean, obviously, playing at home, there's no better feeling in front of the Odde fans, but playing it in Minot is great because fans are yelling at you. They're all mad whenever you make a good play. So I think anytime you do make a good play, it just hypes you up and makes you want to keep doing it again and again and kind of just shove it in their face.
Yeah, I mean, when we score a goal there in Minot, they just shut down, and it's unreal. Just looking at them, they're screaming, they're yelling, and then all of a sudden we score, and it's just quiet, and all the momentum's on us. Yeah.
Well, and that's like that pretty much in every barn. I mean, it's just interesting to me how you guys, as Type A kind of guys that you are, that that it actually feeds the fire rather than kind of diminishes it, because it takes a special kind of person, because some people would probably shy away from that and maybe be a little intimidated, but certainly not hockey players at this level. And I'm sure other teams would probably say the same thing about coming here to the Odde, that they get up for it because of the crowd and because of the the whole environment and atmosphere. So kind of interesting for sure. You guys, as I said, no school today. I talked with some of the veteran players and so on throughout the season about coming here to Aberdeen, their impressions and so on, which I'm curious to see what you guys thought of the community when you first got here and so on. But also, not only just joining a team and having a bunch of guys that maybe a couple of them from distant, or maybe not, from a team that you played on somewhere else, or through high school or whatever it may have been, maybe a camp or whatever. But even worse, I don't want to say worse, but even more different for you guys is having to go to a school where you don't know anybody. So you get it twofold. What's that like?
I mean, it's great. I mean, like, we were talking to some of the teachers actually a couple weeks ago, and they were telling us how there was only one high schooler last year, and he was all alone. So, like Langer was saying earlier, we have a really young team, and with that comes, I think, 7 high schoolers. So that made it a lot easier of a transition. Obviously, going to classes where you didn't know anybody in the school. So had a couple classes with guys on the team, and that really helped kind of ease our way into it.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
It's fun going to school with the boys. I mean, it's a grind sometimes. Like, we go to school, we come to practice, we go back to school, and then we come back here for workouts, and it just, I mean, it takes a lot out of us, but we're used to it, and it's the school grind.
Yeah. Well, and, a lot of times, I think, some of the guys, have jobs and different things like that, but you guys do have the harder end of it. There's a lot more asked of your time, not to mention that, but you've got homework that you've got to worry about, keeping grades up and all that kind of stuff. Maybe some of the fans, a lot of the people may not realize the grind that it is for you guys and the amount of effort and determination and that you have to put into it, to be successful on the ice, but then also scholastically too. So that's definitely a big accomplishment. So hats off to you guys on that. Like I said, makes it that much more difficult, not only joining a team, but like I said, a school. So, Joey, I wanted to ask you, obviously, you're one of the smallest players in the league, certainly on the team. And maybe a target, or like I said, in Minot or for other buildings and so on. But you're also a bit of a fan favorite here at the Odde, and I think part of that is because of your size and because of the fact that you're not backing down from anybody, even if they're a foot taller than you or and maybe 100 pounds on you. There is not an ounce of give up or back down in you. And I wanted to ask you if it ever occurs to you what an impact that you have on fans and on young hockey players as they were coming up. Because I know both of you guys helped me out with some of the incoming Bantams and outgoing Pee-wees on some open ice that we rented a while back. And these young men, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, look up to you guys, even 11-year-olds, whatever, look up to you guys in a big way. But especially, I think, in your case, it's interesting because some of them, they're not going to be 6 foot, 220 pounds, whatever. They're looking and saying, hey, if Joey Strada can do it, I can do it too, regardless of how, what my physical stature ends up being as they grow or whatever. So I think that's kind of cool in its own way. And does it ever occur to you that you are a role model for these guys?
I mean, some of the kids have asked me, like, how do I like play, like, being so small, but like I just gotta, like, you gotta work harder. You gotta do everything, like, a little bit better than the other guys just because you're smaller. And, like, I've known that since I was younger. My dad's been telling me my whole family's small. So, like, I know what, like, the challenge is. I know, like, especially against Minot, like, I'm going to get beat up. But you just got to battle through it, and you just got to, like, I don't know, it's just...
Well, the shifty and quick nature of your skating and the speed that you carry, I think that's got to help you too, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And being able to roll out of a hit and stuff rather than just getting,
Yeah, there's advantages to it and there's disadvantages, but yeah, I mean, I can dodge hits, stuff like that. I mean, it's nice sometimes, but like, yeah, sometimes it's nice being small, sometimes it sucks, but I'm used to it and I know I'm always going to be small. Yeah. So I just got to keep going, got to keep working.
Well, that's awesome, and I know a lot of fans out there are, admire the determination and the drive that you play with. All of you guys, certainly, but as I said, maybe it sticks out a little bit more in your case just because of the stature. Mm-hmm. Timmy, how about you? You recognize the fact that there's young men and young women too, young girls who are out in the stands that are aspiring to go and play college hockey someday, or aspiring to be a junior hockey player, and doing the best they can for a Pee-wee team here in Aberdeen or a Bantam or whatever it is, and they watch you guys. And how does it feel to be a hero, kind of, where people are asking for autographs and things like that? That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, coming here, obviously, that's kind of like the first kind of taste of it, of that kind of atmosphere, and it's been great. It's really unique, and it's awesome to be a role model for kids, and you gotta take pride in that. And it's not always an easy thing to do, but you can't do it. Sometimes it's got to be an all the time thing, and I think that us being a role model for them kind of helps show them what it takes to be successful in life, and not only with hockey but with anything. Right,
school, whatever, like you said. Mm-hmm. I think that's an excellent message that the Wings organization, from ownership on down, has opened some eyes to some hockey players around here that, if you want to be the best, if you want to be, a truly good or great player, it takes a lot of work, and you guys certainly demonstrate that day in and day out. Let's go to your first time in Aberdeen. What were you thinking when you first come into this town of roughly 29,000 people and not a hill to be seen and so on?
I think it was obviously coming from a big town, St. Louis, Missouri. It's kind of like the complete opposite. It's used to being in a big town with everything around me, but like coming here, I mean, it was a lot different, but it's been great. Like the people here, like you can't even describe it almost, because they're so great to you. We have fans always helping us with anything and everything. They're awesome. So that makes the transition to this type of town a lot easier.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Joey, you're no exception. Scottsdale, and not only the climate, but the amount of the population and everything's different for you.
Yeah, it's a lot different than Scottsdale.
Had to invest in a jacket.
Yeah, I had to buy a lot of winter clothes before I came out here. It's really hot out there, and it is unbelievably cold out here. But it's different, and it's a great experience. And honestly, I think it's better that the town is smaller for the hockey community, because like you see the Odde on Friday and Saturday nights, like it's wild.
Yeah.
And like if it was a bigger town, like it wouldn't be like that. And like it's a lot better to have the fans that care so much. And it's a great experience, and like it's nice coming to a smaller town, coming from a bigger town, just like see what it's like, and people are different. Just it's a good time.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. I never thought of that. That because of the fact that maybe that smaller town atmosphere, they kind of feel like they get to know you, and then then they cheer that much harder, and they're that much more passionate about it. And there's limited things perhaps to do on certain nights where they're going to come out and fill the Odde Ice Center and cheer you guys on. And where in a bigger community you have a lot more options and stuff, I suppose. Is that kind of what you mean? Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Good and an interesting perspective. I never really thought of that before. Let's see. This weekend, boy, we talked about it. I'm sure that the Odde's going to be packed and going to be very loud. What do you guys expect from Minot? I mean, I know Coach is going to go through game plans and, like you said, maybe tweak some things and stuff. But just I would imagine they're going to be kicking and scratching and clawing. They're trying to get their way back into this thing. How do you mentally and emotionally prepare for that?
Yeah, I mean, their situation, they're down 2-0, and so they're in a do or die mentality. So they're gonna be coming out hard and with everything they got, because their season's on the line. So I think we gotta just kind of take it shift by shift. Can't get overwhelmed with it.
Right.
And I think we have to come out with that do or die mentality also, and match it and exceed it, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, Minot, they're going to come out hard. Like Timmy said, their season's on the line, and a lot of those guys are veterans, so they're going to be in college next year or wherever. So they're going to be coming out hard, and I mean, we know what to expect. We're going to have to practice hard this week and be ready, but we're excited to maybe go to the second round.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned something, Tim, there that I thought was pretty interesting, that that you don't want it to be too big, because it could be kind of overwhelming if you let it get to be too big. The whole it's great that you said that, but take it shift by shift and just kind of like going to work. You just do your job and take care of it, follow the coach's instructions and stuff, and just handle it, because it could be an emotional thing where you're kind of like, holy crap, I can't believe how big, what I mean? This is such a big moment. So that's, your guys' maturity always amazes me, because I think in my case I'd be peeing my pants. Can I say that here? I just did. So, all right. Well, guys, I appreciate you taking some time to talk to me and to let the fans know a little about yourselves, about your personal life, about how you handle hockey, in school and the whole thing. So I really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us here on Wings Weekly.
Yep. Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Best of luck and kick some butt this weekend. All right.
Yeah, we'll do.
That'll pretty much wrap up Wings Weekly, folks, but a couple of quick talking points. I want to make sure and mention that season ticket holders receive free admission by checking in at the East Lobby prior to the game on Friday night. Doors open at 5:30, puck drop at 7:15. General admission tickets are $10 at the door, or get reserved seats for $12 by calling Aaron at 605-380-5852 during regular business hours. White out the Odde. Wear white to support the Wings. Coming up on Friday night, so that'll be make for a pretty cool visual, no doubt. Game 4, if necessary, against Minot on Saturday, April 22nd, and then Game 5, if necessary, April 24th against Minot at 7:05 in Minot. But again, this Friday night, big game. Season ticket holders receive free admission by checking in at the East Lobby. And general admission tickets are $10 at the door, or get reserved $12 seats by calling Aaron at 605-380-5852. Once again, folks, that's it for this week's Wings Weekly. We'll see you Friday night.